Hello and welcome back to another training with Blue Equinox. This is Baron Solomon and this is going to be an overview of Hosted PBX as a voice solution for our clients. So Hosted PBX technology is a cloud-based solution that we can provide our clients where we house the brains, the big switch of their premise-based phone system. In our data center, we maintain all software and firmware updates for their phone system. This is something that is relatively new in the marketplace. In previous years, a customer would have had strictly a premise-based phone system, meaning there would have been a big box in their telephone room that would have controlled their phone system anytime they wanted to make changes to that environment or add a phone, take away a phone, change a number. They had to have a voice vendor come out, somebody who knew what they were doing with that piece of equipment to make a change. Well, not anymore. Now that the internet is so reliable and we have the ability to deliver cloud computing solutions, we just host that piece of equipment in our data center and simply provide them with a phone on site, and it connects back to that piece of equipment in the data center, and it's going to be the brains of the phone. It's going to tell it where to route, where to go, and what to do. So this is something that a lot of companies are moving to because it requires less of an upfront capital expenditure. In previous years, with a premise-based phone system, you were going to be looking at a large upfront expense to go out and buy a completely new phone system. Well, with this, we charge you on a monthly basis for the use of the phone and the actual usage associated with that, the minutes, the access to the portal, all of that is charged on a monthly basis. It's much less of an upfront capital expenditure. So who is our target audience? As we discussed, it's going to be people with an older phone system that are looking to replace it. It's going to be companies that may have many remote workers. Those individuals might be interested in this solution because as long as you have access to the internet, you can plug in and use this phone from anywhere. It's going to be looking for businesses who just overall want to improve the connectivity, the integration of their voice solution at many locations. That's going to be a target audience for this phone system as well, because it helps them be on the same system across multiple locations without having to install excess equipment at those locations. So what are some things that are different about a hosted PBX phone system, but especially through us? Well, we can provide power over Ethernet PoE switches on site where you don't have to have power supplies. The power and the internet is provided both through the Ethernet port at that point, which makes it really convenient from a wiring standpoint and from an accessibility standpoint. Obviously we can do on-site training, we can do virtual training. We've got a proven product. We can deliver quality of service across multiple broadband provider options. We obviously have a dedicated hosted computer support group that's going to be there to take care of the customer in the event of a problem with their phone system. But really what it is we've got a really good product that uses, for Equinox Communications, uses Cisco devices. It's all fully baked. It works extremely well. It's what we use in our office, and it provides the client with a level of flexibility that an old school phone system simply cannot do. So, what are some of the features? Well, one of the main features to remember is access to our online portal, which gives them the ability to have Find Me, Follow Me, which is going to be where if somebody calls your desk and you don't pick up, it'll actually ring through to your cell phone so you never miss a call. You can also have it route calls to your cell phone during certain times of the day if you feel like it would be more beneficial for those calls to go straight to your cell phone. You can fax from the portal. You can manage your voicemails. It records all calls for training purposes or for protection of you and your employees. These are all things that come with that online portal. The flexible bandwidth options obviously is great. It's fantastic, especially for locations where you may not have as high a bandwidth coming into the building. Abbreviated dialing between sites, that goes back to the integration piece we were talking about, helping people stay connected. But for me, the main thing that you need to learn and really be able to explain to people is all of the features that come along with that online portal. So, what are some questions that you can ask to determine if this is an opportunity for Hosted PBX? Well, obviously, the first you want to ask is, are you happy with your current phone system? Are there any features that you wish you had that you currently do not have? That's a great place to start. Also, how old is your phone system? That's another great place to start. 7 to 10 years is typical life cycle, as you saw in that previous slide. So keep that in mind. Remote workers, you can ask about those. Any of these questions are going to be good in uncovering opportunities for Hosted PBX. Another important thing to remember is that the cost of paying a phone vendor to come out and make changes to the network is going to be offset in the Hosted PBX cost as well, because there's no longer a need to do that. All you do is plug the phone in and it works. Or you can log in and log out of the phones if you need to move employees from desk to desk. If you do need to make a change that requires engineering expertise, you simply fill out a trouble ticket and we'll take care of it for you. So there's no longer a need to pay someone to come out and work on your phone system. All of that is handled by whoever your Hosted PBX provider is. But again, study these questions, learn them, know how they apply to what you're trying to sell the customer, or the value that you're trying to bring to the table, and what they represent to you as a consultant. So what do you need to know to get a quote? Well, really the only thing you need to know is how many phones do you currently have? How many desktop sets do you currently have? Or how many conference rooms do you have phones in? You also need to ask not only what are your bandwidth needs, but how much bandwidth do you currently have coming to the building? Hosted PBX, like any voice over IP technology, requires a certain amount of bandwidth to work effectively. You also want to make sure that the bandwidth is quality, meaning that if it is a cable, that it's a large cable circuit, or if it is a DSL, that it is a large enough DSL circuit. But for the most part, you're going to be looking at situations where you're not going to have enough bandwidth currently available for smaller locations. You might need to make recommendations to otherwise make arrangements for them to get additional bandwidth to the building. But again, study these questions, learn what they mean to you as a consultant, and how you can apply them in your day-to-day. This has been another training with Blue Equinox, overview of Hosted PBX. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.